Have you ever wondered what the future of money looks like? One name keeps popping up in that conversation: Michael Saylor. He's the mind behind MicroStrategy, a company that went all in on Bitcoin, and his vision is reshaping how we think about finance, energy, and even the internet itself. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Michael Saylor to understand why he believes Bitcoin isn't just another investment, but a fundamental revolution. So, who is Michael Saylor? Before he became a Bitcoin evangelist, he was known as the brilliant CEO of MicroStrategy, a business intelligence firm he co-founded back in 1989. For decades, his company thrived by helping other businesses make sense of their data. But in 2020, Saylor saw a problem. The cash on his company's balance sheet was losing value every single day due to inflation. He called it a melting ice cube. He needed a solution, a way to preserve the wealth his company had worked so hard to create. After exploring all the traditional options stocks, real estate, gold, he landed on Bitcoin. But he didn't just dip his toes in, he plunged right in. MicroStrategy started buying Bitcoin, and they didn't stop. They bought hundreds of millions, then billions of dollars worth. This wasn't just a trade. It was a complete strategic shift, turning a publicly traded software company into a de facto Bitcoin development company. The world watched, with many calling it a massive gamble. But for Saylor, it was the only logical move. This leads us to the core of Saylor's thesis. What exactly is Bitcoin to him? He doesn't see it as just digital currency or a speculative asset. He sees it as digital property. Think of it like a piece of prime real estate in cyberspace. It's an asset you can truly own, without needing permission from a bank or a government. But his most powerful metaphor is Bitcoin as digital energy. What does that even mean? Saylor explains that human civilization is built on channeling and using energy. We built dams to harness the energy of water, and power plants to harness chemical and nuclear energy. This energy powers our cities, our homes, and our industries. He argues that money is also a form of energy. It's economic energy. It represents the time, work, and resources we've invested. The problem with traditional money, or fiat currency, is that this energy leaks. Inflation constantly drains its power. Bitcoin, in his view, is the first technology that allows us to store this economic energy perfectly over time, without it leaking away. He compares the Bitcoin network to a perfectly sealed monetary battery. When you convert your fiat currency into Bitcoin, you're essentially pouring your economic energy into this battery, where it can be stored indefinitely and transported anywhere in the world at the speed of light. It's a way to protect your work and your savings from the silent erosion of inflation. This concept of digital energy is fundamental to understanding why he believes Bitcoin is so revolutionary. It's not just about getting rich quick. It's about preserving value across generations. This conviction led to one of the boldest moves in modern corporate history. Saylor decided to put Bitcoin on MicroStrategy's balance sheet. Before this, most corporations held their treasury reserves in cash, bonds, or other traditional, safe assets. But Saylor argued these were no longer safe. Holding cash was a guaranteed loss of purchasing power over time. So, he pioneered the corporate Bitcoin strategy. Instead of letting their cash reserves melt, MicroStrategy converted them into Bitcoin. This was a paradigm shift. It showed other CEOs and CFOs that there was an alternative. He wasn't just talking the talk, he was leading by example, putting billions of his company's dollars on the line. He even issued debt to buy more Bitcoin, doubling down on his conviction. Saylor's rationale was simple: as an institutional-grade treasury reserve asset, Bitcoin was superior to anything else. It's scarce, with a fixed supply of 21 million coins, making it inherently deflationary. It's decentralized, meaning no single entity controls it. And it's digital, making it easy to store, secure, and transfer. He made the playbook public, hosting conferences and sharing resources to help other companies follow suit. He wanted to create a network effect, where the more companies that adopted Bitcoin, the stronger and more valuable the network would become. This move wasn't just for MicroStrategy, it was a call to action for the entire corporate world. So, where does this all lead? What is Saylor's vision for the future? He sees a world where Bitcoin forms the base layer of a new, more equitable financial system. He doesn't necessarily believe Bitcoin will replace the dollar for everyday purchases, like buying a coffee. Instead, he sees Bitcoin as the ultimate settlement layer, the global reserve asset upon which everything else is built. Imagine the financial system as a building. For centuries, gold was the foundation. In the last 50 years, the US dollar and government bonds have been the foundation. Saylor believes this foundation is cracking. He envisions a future where Bitcoin is the new, unshakable bedrock. It will be the digital gold standard, the final store of value that underpins the entire global economy. In this future, you might still use your local currency for daily transactions, But those currencies would be layers built on top of the Bitcoin standard. Banks, corporations, and even nation-states would hold Bitcoin as their primary reserve asset. This creates a system that is more transparent, more efficient, and less prone to manipulation by central authorities. He also talks about Bitcoin powering the next generation of the internet. Think about it. Bitcoin allows for the transfer of value without an intermediary. This could unlock a wave of innovation. Imagine websites that can pay you micropayments for your attention, or AI agents that can transact with each other seamlessly. This is what Saylor calls a Bitcoin-powered internet, where value flows as freely as information does today. He believes Bitcoin is not just an asset, but a protocol, a set of rules for a new, decentralized financial world. Of course, Saylor's vision is not without its critics. People point to Bitcoin's price volatility, its energy consumption, and regulatory uncertainty as major hurdles. The price swings can be wild, making it a risky bet for conservative corporate treasuries. The debate around the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining is ongoing and complex, and governments around the world are still figuring out how to regulate this new asset class. But Saylor has an answer for each of these points. He argues that the volatility is just the price of admission for a new technology. In its early stages of monetization, as adoption grows, he believes the volatility will decrease. On energy, he highlights that the network incentivizes the use of cheap, often stranded or renewable energy sources. He frames Bitcoin mining not as a waste, but as a way to monetize energy in a productive, location-independent way. Regarding regulation, he believes that clear, sensible regulation will ultimately be a good thing, bringing more institutional players into the space and legitimizing the asset. He remains completely unfazed by the criticism and the market downturns. He sees them as noise. His focus is on the long term, on the decades and centuries to come. He's not trading Bitcoin, he's accumulating it, holding it as a permanent store of value. His famous advice is simple: don't sell your Bitcoin. In conclusion, Michael Saylor's vision is one of the most compelling and ambitious narratives in the financial world today. He sees Bitcoin not just as an investment, but as a technological solution to the fundamental problem of money. By reframing it as digital property and digital energy, he's given corporations and individuals a powerful new way to think about preserving wealth. His pioneering adoption at MicroStrategy paved the way for other institutions to follow. Whether you agree with him or not, his influence is undeniable. He has forced a global conversation about the nature of money, the role of corporate treasuries, and the future of our financial system. He's betting that in the long run, the mathematical certainty and decentralized power of the Bitcoin network will triumph over traditional financial systems. He's playing the long game, and he is inviting everyone to join him in building a new financial future on the bedrock of Bitcoin. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think of Michael Saylor's vision? Is he a genius, or is he taking an enormous risk? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you next time.